back to GearWire and our continued look at the VOX Valvetronic ToneLab LE. My name is Owen O'Malley. In our last video, we just kind of gave you a sample of what a bunch of the different patches, the preset patches, sounded like. Now we're just going to go real quick and show you how easy it is. There's a little bit of thing there. Did you see that? Anyway, how easy it is to access each of the individual effects and how to create your own patch, how to edit everything. Basically, whatever mode you're in, whether you're in the sort of individual effects access mode or in the preset access mode, you can go to any preset. Right now we're at bank 30 and just patch 1, and I've sort of taken everything out of the patch right up here. Right here is your pedal select. Pedal, well, let's listen to our clean tone here first. Now pedal, this is where you access basically your stomp box effects. We've got our, let's see, basically metal distortion right here. We've got an octave fuzz. We've got our VOX wah, automatically assigned to the expression pedal here. A bunch of different stuff. We've got a ring mod, treble boost, tube overdrive, fat distortion. Now, when this pedal right here is, or when this button is blinking, that basically means that this is what's selected. It also means that it's on. And it also means that these controls down here are going to be what you use to affect, or rather change all the different effects parameters. You can see that there's a sort of an LED that corresponds to each module here, and also an LED across this way that corresponds to each edited part of that module. When we're on the pedal controls right here, you can see the corresponding controls will be drive, level, tone, manual, type, and order. Manual doesn't have any effect in this case because we're not, this basically switches between whether your sort of envelope effects, the wah is a sort of auto wah, or, you know, like an envelope filter, or something that's controlled by the expression pedal here. Let's move on to the next module here. Now we have our, let's turn the pedal off too. Now we've got our amp module. This is the amp modeling. It can be bypassed if you just want to use your regular amp, but this is where this little icon here comes in. This is the sort of shows you what the tube complement is of the amp model, or rather of the amp that's being modeled. You'll see if we scroll over here to a Tweed 1x12, now we've got two 6v6s, the sort of classic clean Fender tone. And if we move over to AC30, we've got a quartet of EL84s. Very different tone. And it's just kind of nice to have a little graphical representation of, you know, what kind of power tubes in the real world would be changing the tone. Now you notice it's power tubes that they're showing here, and not preamp tubes. Most preamp tubes are 12AX7s. They're showing different power tubes because they want to draw attention to the fact that the 12AX7 here, which is sort of the core of the ToneLab's tone, valve tone, is actually being used not in the preamp gain modeling section, but actually in the power amp gain modeling. It's basically what they call their valve reactor circuit. And so it's really used when you engage the different amp models here, which changes the different power tubes here, and that changes how the circuit that's running through this 12AX7 is actually voiced. So that's probably one of the reasons they have this little graphical representation of the power tubes that are being emulated. If we go over to UK Modern here, we've got 4 EL34s. We've got, let's see, we've got KT60. Here's 5881s, the UK 90s. Typically referred to as woodier sounding. We've got KT66s for the UK blues. And again, with the pedal module here, now we've got amp selected here, so we can change the gain of the actual amp itself. You'll see that over by next to amp, there's also a cab button, which is off right now. Now, if we go to, let's go back to UK 90s. I like the sound of that. And let's go to cab. Now, to select a different cab, you actually go down here, cab option, cabinet, and you switch it like this. And you basically switch the corresponding cab type to whatever amp model that you're using. So right now, let's say we're playing UK 90s head through a Tweed 1x8. Now let's say we're playing it through a 410, Tweed 410. A Blackface 210. So you can hear there, I don't know how accurate these are, I'm not A-Bing them, but they're all pretty distinct sounding choices in this sort of different speaker emulated cab stuff. You can just bypass the cab thing by pressing this button again, and now it's off, and so you've only got amp simulation, not cab simulation. We'll go through the modulation, delay, and reverb effects in a third video here. But I just wanted to point out one other thing while we're talking about amp simulations. This pedal was designed to work both with an amp or to be used as a sort of direct in for recording. As such, if we go to amp line here, we can select 3 different preset amp EQs and 2 different line EQs. We've been listening to amp preset 3 because I think it sounds good with the amp that we've been using, which is a VOX AC15. If we switch to other ones, you can hear the voicing is very different. And if we switch to line, it's even more different. You can see it's a much hotter or a much different sort of signal level there. And that would be for direct recording this guy direct with the cab and speaker emulation and all that stuff going on. So we'll move on to the modulation effects and a couple of the other options that are in here in the next video. Until then, you've been watching GearWire.com. This is the VOX Valvetronics ToneLab LE, and I'm Owen O'Malley, and we will see you soon.